Okay, so today what we are going to do is learn how to read a crochet pattern. And we are going to do basic stitches and graphs. So whenever you see a chart, you'll be able to read a chart. And my paper's turned sideways because, you know, that's the way you write. So if you see circles, which will look like this, those are chain stitches. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chain stitches. We're going to talk about 7 different stitches today. If you have a plus, that is a single crochet. So your single crochet, that's a single crochet. And it also is a plus. So we're going to say plus equals SC if it's written out, or single crochet. If you have a tall T, it'll be a little bit taller than the plus sign, and just have a T. It'll look just like this. That is an HDC. And that is a half double crochet. If you have a little bit taller one and it has a plus in the middle, that is a double crochet. My pen's giving out. If you have one that's a little bit taller, it does like this, and it has 2 hashes in the middle of it, be written like that, that's a treble crochet. So it's going to be written or it could be written TRC. Depends on the person, but that's a treble crochet. If you have one that is a little bit taller and it has 3, that is a double treble, and it'll be written like that. If you have one that is a little bit taller than that one, and it has 4 hash marks, it is a triple treble. I'll have to go over here. And it's written like that. And if you have one, and these are not very common. The double treble, yes, these over here are not, because your stitches get way out of hand. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it is called a quadruple treble crochet. And it's written like this. I have personally never seen this one, but it can be out there. think that's how you spell it. Oh. It's written QTC, quadruple treble. I may be spelling this wrong. Like I said, I have never seen this one, this quadruple treble, in any patterns because the stitches get too far out there, but it can happen. So what you're looking for, these are the main, these 4 are your main ones. You will always have chain stitches written in your pattern. You will have single crochets, half double, double, and treble crochets. Those are your most common. These 4 right here are your most common. Now, whenever you go to turn your stitches, the reason that you turn your stitches on the side is this one is a single crochet. When you do 2, that's a half double crochet. 3 is usually a double crochet. 4 is your treble crochet right here. I'm not doing a very good representation because my lines aren't high enough. 5, these are your turning chains going up the side. 6 would be this one. And 7 would be your tallest one, which would be this one. So that tells you the turning chains that you're going to need in order to do these. If you're looking at a pattern and it has 1 turning chain on it, you should single crochet. If it has 2 turning chains, you should half double. 3 turning chains should be a double crochet. But this is your what they should look like. Now, if you have a pattern, and let's say you have, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up the side like this. It comes back, and you have little crosses. Then you will go up the side over here, and you'll come back and have little crosses. And then it'll go up the side over here, and you'll have little crosses. This is how your pattern's going to be written. So what you do is you start from this side and you work your way this way. So you're going on this row, you're going this way. What this tells you is you chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me grab a scrap piece of paper or scrap deal, and we'll make this right here. Okay, so to read this pattern that I just wrote, it says I need to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to chain 1, 2, and I'm just using scrap yarn. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it says in the second chain from my hook, so we don't count that one, we go back 1 more. So we don't count this one because that's this one right here is this one. The one on our hook doesn't count. So that's just an empty stitch. So we go back to this one, and then we go back this one because it's the second chain from our hook. We do a single crochet. And that's what this is a single crochet. So then I do a single crochet in every stitch back. And I should have, I think, 5 single crochets. So we should have this many single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I look here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my turning chain. So then I go up here because you work your way back, and now we're going back this way because that's the way our yarn is. We come up 1, so we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 5 back across this way. So we chain 1, we turn our work, and in that very same stitch we are going to do a single crochet, and in each stitch across we're going to do a single crochet. And there's 5 single crochets. So now we're back over here. We chain 1 and we go back across this way. So now we're chaining 1, turning our work, and we're going back across in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what our work looks like. And see how it mimics what this looks like right here? That's how you know you've done it right. So now if we do, we're going to take this out, and we are going to do, all of my dogs just ran away. We're going to do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do 2 turning chains, and we're going to do half double crochets. And this is how it would look. Then we do two turning chains here, and then we do our half double crochets and 2 turning chains here and our half double crochets. So that is like this. So now we're doing this one, not the single. Now we're going to do the half doubles. So we are going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have, this would be a pattern of 5 plus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our pattern, and then plus 2 are our turning chains. So that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I like to do is put my fingers right here. 6, 7, and then I will yarn over, work into this stitch that I put my fingers on because that is 2 behind. 1, 2, and in the 3rd chain I do a half double crochet, and then in every chain across I do a half double crochet. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it says that I need to chain 2. If I can get my 5th one done. It's stuck. There we go. Now it says I need to chain 2 to go up and work across again. So we chain 2, turn our work, go back down into that same stitch because that's, see, it's coming out to the side, so we go back into that same stitch that down below. Do a half double crochet, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're right here. We did this one, we did this one, so this is our stitch that we're at. We chain 2 and we go back across. So we're going to chain 2, turn our work, work right back into that same stitch with a half double crochet, and go right back across with our 5, 1 in each stitch across, which is what that says to do because they're placed on top of each other. And that's what we look like. And it should mimic this right here. You do the same thing with half double crochets, except for with half double crochets when you do your 5. Your turning chain will be 3. And I won't be able to and that's your half double crochet. Then you do 3 turning chains and your half double crochet again, or your double crochet again. It'll be straight, it won't be crooked. And to do 3 rows, you do the same thing, except for your turning chains would be 3, and you go back down into the same, it's the same as this and this and this. If you're going to do a treble crochet, which is the last one I'm going to show you, you would do it like this. You'd have 4 turning chains. And it would be up here. It's a lot taller. And that's your treble crochet. And then you would chain up 4 for your next row and do it all over again. And if it's on top of this, it's in the middle of this one. So let me see if I can find a pattern. Let me finish this out first so you guys can see it. And if you want me to show you what this one looks like, I can. And then you do it all over again and go up again. But it's the same as doing these, you just do your different chains and your different stitches. So let's do the double crochet. Let's follow this double crochet one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My turning chain is 6, 7, 8 for these 3 right here. I'm going to work back into the 1, 2, 3, 4th one from the hook, because my hook is up here. I'm going to go into the 1, 2, 3, 4th one from my hook. So count back, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to work into this stitch with a double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet across, because it says the next 1, 2, 3, 4. We should have 5 double crochets. I'm going to draw you guys a granny square here in a second so you'll know how to do a granny square. I may go off camera to draw the granny square because I'm not good at drawing these graphs. So there's my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with my turning chain, and that's what this is. So now we're over here. We're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and go back across. So we chain up 3. And there's that part without this part. So if you look at it like this, put my finger here, you have this right here. Let's see, let's do it like this. Try to do it like this. So you have this part, and then your chain 3 is right here. And now we are going to go across and do our double crochets. After we turn our work, and then we have to do 1 in the next one, or in that very first one, which is right here, because that's a double crochet coming up. We do 1 here, and in the next 4 stitches, or 3 now, because we have 3. Now we have 3. This one doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you have a turning chain and they want you to work into this turning chain, they will come out here and put a stitch over here on top of that turning chain. But if they don't want you to, like, okay, so let's say you have a turning chain. Let's do it up here. So you have this turning chain and they want you to work into this, the top of this one. They would put a stitch up here in the top of this one. And then back across, or across here. And you would have 6 instead of 5. This is telling you that your turning chain does not count on these rows. But if they put it on the top of that turning chain, then they want you to work back into the turning chain. You'll see where your stitches are supposed to be. So that's what this one looks like. And now we'll do our trebles. And a treble is, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 5 stitches plus 4, because we have 4 on this side. Our 4 is our turning chain. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is the reason I did on the 5 or wherever my last one is because when we work back, we're going to work back into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th chain. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where my finger is. And that's the chain we're going to work back into. And the treble is yarn over twice. There's something else I need to show you guys on this. And pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. On your stitches, the reason they have these hash marks in the middle of the deal is because if you look at your stitches, the double crochet, you just go in and that's why it's kind of hashed in the middle. The half double crochet is you yarn over once right here and you go through. The double crochet is you yarn over and you pull through 2 and you pull through 2. This one you just pull through 1, right? So the treble crochet is you yarn over twice, you poke it in, and you're going to pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's your hash marks. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's why it has those hash marks. So yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Now we're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what our pattern says to do. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to go right back in the top of this last treble crochet with a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, get back in the top of that one, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and do it all the way back across because that's what our pattern says to do. And we're just working in the tops of these stitches. On a treble crochet, there's some tricks. I keep my yarn pretty tight, so I'm not doing it right now. Plus, this is not something that we're going to keep. But if you're having problems with your treble crochet, when you wrap it around twice, keep your finger on it, then go through. I'm going to do another one here on the end of this stitch. Put your finger on all of these. Make sure they slide, but keep your finger, especially on this back one, to pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And you won't have really loose stitches that way. But this is what we look like now. And see how tall that is? I made it almost the same exact height. but that's how you read a pattern, a graph pattern. Now I'm going to go offline. I'm going to show you how to do a granny square. I'm going to draw a granny square out, and we're going to make a granny square together, and I'll be right back. Okay, instead of trying to make one, I couldn't draw one as well as I can find one printed. And I forgot to tell you that a dot, like this dot right here, is a slip stitch. So I just pulled up a free one on my phone. You can find these graphs everywhere, charts, whatever you want to call them. On this one, this is a classic granny square. It is a diagram. It tells you, you always should have a reference to what these symbols mean. Your chain stitch, your dot is a slip stitch, and your double crochet. DC, SL, ST, and chain. If you are reading a pattern, these are what you would be reading on your pattern, the things in the parentheses. So, you start in the middle of a granny square. You'll start here with you'll start at this one, chain 4, and then slip stitch, and I'll show you how to do that. Again, I'm just using scrap yarn. You start with your, there it is. You start with your slip stitch on your hook, and I just grabbed a hook that was beside me, so. You chain 4, which is what the middle of this says, is a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We slip stitch back to that first chain to create the circle, and it looks just like the middle. If I open it up, it'll look just like this. Then here's where we start, and we chain 3 to go up. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to be working around this direction. We're going to be working opposite what we normally think we should be working. So we chain 3, and then we do 2 more double crochets into this circle. So that's 1, 2, and then it says we're right here. Let me get my pen. We're right here. We've got a chain 3, and we've done these 2. So then we chain 2, and we do 3 more double crochets. So we chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. And we're right here. We chain 2, 3 more double crochets, chain 2, 3 more double crochets, and then we finish with a chain 2 and a slip stitch. So we're going to chain 2, 3 more double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, which is right here, 3 double crochets, then we're at our chain 2 and slip stitch, chain 2, and then we slip stitch into the top. So we go 1, 2, 3, which would be right here of that stitch. Whoops, I missed it. We slip stitch, and this is what we look like. And if you look at this one and this picture right here, if you pretend that this is all gone and you're just looking at this middle square right here, this looks the same. See how it looks the same as that middle square? So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, And to move yourself into this, you can do it one of two ways. Instead of a chain 2 right here, you'll see it written with a half double crochet. I usually change these chain 2s to a half double crochet, but we're going to do it how they say to do it this time. We're going to chain 3, which is 1, 2, 3, because we're right here. Let me get we're right here. So this is where we're sitting. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do 2 double crochets into this chain space right here. So we're right here. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then working in back into this chain space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Just like that. And see, it moved your chain over, and you still got in there. And then they want you to chain 1 in between. Chain 3, and then there's a chain 1 in between. So you chain 1, and then back over here. You're going to work into the chain spaces over here with 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So into this next, we're going to skip these 3 stitches because these don't have anything worked into the top of them, and we're going to work into the chain spaces because this is where we're at. We're going to work into these 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into this next stitch, into this next chain space. So we've already chained 1, so we're going to move over to the chain space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, and then we're going to do chain 2 and 3 more double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 right here, and then we'll work back into this next chain space down below with 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. I'm sure most of you know how to do this. I'm just trying to show you how to read a chart. Then chain 2, which is right here. Your chain 2 is right here, and then 3 more double crochets in that same space. And your pattern is chain 1, 3 double crochets down into this next space, chain 2, 3 double crochets. You're always going to have a chain 1 in between on the rows and chain 2 on the corners. So we're going to work that back around all the way, and see, this says an R2, R1, which is row 1, R2 is row 2, and then we'll be on row 3 here in just a second. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets back in that same space, chain 1, and go back into this corner because we're right here now. So now we're right here. So we want to do the 3 double crochets, chain 2, join with a slip stitch. So we're doing the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and we're going to join with that 3rd stitch, 1, 2, 3, with a slip stitch. Then we're going to go up to row 3 right here, and it says chain 3 and then 2 more double crochets in this space. So we're going to chain 3, and I'll show you something right here. This is a mistake right here. These 2 are mistakes. They should have this, because over here they're not doing the same thing over here. So that sometimes your pattern will have a mistake in it, and you just You know, if it doesn't have it across, or if it's not here written the same, this is a mistake. It should have one more here. So ignore that right there. I didn't do this pattern, I just found it. And whenever you are experienced like me, that will stick out to you. Whenever you're doing something, you're like, oh, that's not supposed to be there. So we'll do it like we're supposed to do it and not how they say it. So our pattern is going in the middle of these stitches. It's just a regular granny square. So we do our 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then in the middle of this space we will do our 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then go into our corner space. So we're going to chain 1, we're going to work in here with our 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then over here, because this is where we're at right now, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, then we're going to chain 1 because we're sitting right here at the end of this stitch. We're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2. So chain 1, 3 double crochets into this space, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and we're in our corner. So we always know that our corner is going to get 2 chains in it, and then we're going to work back into that corner with 3 double crochets. And when you pick up the pattern, which is really easy to pick up this kind of a pattern, you just repeat what you've been doing all the way around. And so we are right down here. So now we're finished here. So we chain 2, 3 double crochets, or chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then whenever we get right here, I'll show you that we're going to do 3 double crochets here and 3 double crochets here, because that's just a pattern mistake. That's just a written pattern mistake. So I'm just going to work it around like it says to do. If you need to reference where you're at, it's really easy to stop what you're doing and you look at it and you're like, okay, where am I in the pattern? So you've got 1, 2, 3 rows, and you've got one more round to look at. So you know that you're on the 3rd row, and if you flip it around like where you started on your 3rd row, you started here, your 3rd row, and you've gone back around, and you're down here on the bottom, and you're coming back up. And it's real easy whenever you have a graph in front of you, your block should look just like this graph. So if you don't know where you're at, you just think, okay, I started here, I started up here at the top. Now what do I need to do? Because I set this down and now I'm coming back to do it again. So what do I need to do? So you set it down, you chain 2, which this is your 3rd row, this is where you're at, you've chained 2, so now you just do 3 double crochets. We're going to pretend this looks like this one and do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So you're going to chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and slip stitch. And that's where we're at. So if you set it down, you can always, I love graphs for that reason, because when you set it down, you can always look at your stitches and see exactly where you're at, because it should really closely mimic what your graph is. You should be able to just look at it and say, oh, this looks just like the graph. This is what my pattern is going to look like. This is what my block is going to look like. With graphs, a lot of people have a hard time with them. So I'm at the corner. So we are going to chain, or 3 double crochets, chain 2, and this is where we're at. We're going to slip stitch because we have that little dot right there. So we're going to slip stitch into the top, 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 3, and we can stop right there because it's the same thing over and over again, but this is what my block looks like minus this outside edge, and this is what the graph looks like. And that's how you do it. You just follow it around. If it has a mistake like this one does, then you look over here. So if it does a different stitch, like this has just twins in a stitch is what a lot of people call these. If it just has 2 double crochets in a stitch, you look over here and it doesn't have 2 double crochets over here. A block should mimic itself. So that's how I know this is a mistake. It's just they forgot to put the extra one in there. So sometimes you'll find that, sometimes you won't, and your block will look funny, and you'll be sitting there looking at it. Well, I did it like it said, but look at the block really closely. If it doesn't mimic itself on the other side, then you need to fix this problem. This is a problem that you will have to pick up on and fix. So, but most of them don't have problems like that. So, but this is what it looks like, and see how it looks identical to this, and that's what you're looking for. And that's how to read a graph. I mean, graphs are very, very easy to read. I love graphs. So now we're going to go on, and I'll be right back. The next thing I want to talk about is the general instructions on a pattern. I know we kind of covered this earlier, but I wanted to show you what it was looking like. This is just an old pattern that I have. I'm not going to show you any patterns in here. It's an old book. But what it says, all your patterns should have abbreviations up at the top. So we can tuck this down a little bit. You should have abbreviations in your general instructions. So like CC equals contrasting color, chains, that equals a CH equals chains or chain or chains. DC is double crochet. FPDC is front post double crochets. FPTR is front post treble crochets. HDC equals half double crochets. LDC is long double crochets. MC is main color. MM is millimeters. RNDS is rounds. SC single crochet. SP is spaces. ST is stitches. TR is treble crochets, and YO is yarn over in this book. Other books may be different, so you always want to check your abbreviations. You always have it usually in the front of the book. It'll either be in the front of the book or the back of the book to tell you, or at the top of the pattern. Now there will be special work instructions, and they'll have stars, asterisks, this kind of thing right here, parentheses, those kind of things, and it'll tell you what you need to do in those things. It also tells you your gauge, which we talked about earlier, and how to do that. And down here, capital letters, do not hesitate to change hook size to obtain the correct gauge. That's very important. And then it shows you, joining with a single crochet instructions, crochet terminology, slip stitch, sometimes it's SL, ST, sometimes it's SS, that kind of thing. This is the United States, this is international, so if you're not from the United States, sometimes it'll have these kind of things on there, and it tells you what they mean. Then it also has your gauges for hook sizes. This over here has changing colors and how to do that, your free loops of a chain, front post, back post, trebles, doubles, that kind of stuff. And so it'll tell you on your front post treble crochet, you yarn over twice, insert your hook front to back, A back post is back to front around the post of a stitch, and it shows you kind of how to do that from front to back, and in a back post you go from back to front. It also tells you how to do reverse half double, which is kind of like the X stitch that we did the other day. It tells you how to whip stitch and weave in your ends and all that kind of stuff. I don't want you to see, there's a pattern right there that I don't want you to see, but I'll get in trouble for that. But it'll also tell you like your color sequences and that kind of thing. But I wanted you to see this so that you would kind of know that most patterns, just about all patterns, have this kind of thing. Let me pull out another pattern book and see. This pattern book has different instructions. It'll tell you how to do it. It'll tell you all of the things that I was showing you before. It tells you how to get the correct gauge. Then these are old books, so it tells you how to block. It tells you how many multiples you need to do, markers, the yarn, and finishing your project. This one also has your basic stitch guide on it and tells you, you can look at these drawings. This is how I learned how to crochet, was with drawings like this, in books like this. And it tells you what it should look like, and you need to mimic this kind of stuff if you're doing that. And like I have 2 pages here of the same thing, and it, you know, it'll say like yarn over, draw through. This is just basic stitch diagrams. These are fine to show you because it's not a pattern. And it tells you how to do a popcorn, how to do a cluster, how to do the puff stitch, that kind of stuff. It tells you, different stitch guides will tell you different things. So I learned how to do it. I learned how to do these things with the books, not with YouTube. So I'm like, oh my goodness, people don't even know how to read patterns anymore, but that's okay. You have YouTube and you can follow people talking, and that's perfectly fine. The other thing I wanted to tell you was, it will tell you, it should tell you somewhere, let me see here if I can find one. I may have to cover up some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cover this up, so let me see here. I wanted to show you this also. I'm getting ready to drop some stuff over here on the side. Trying not to drop my phone on the floor. Okay, so it'll tell you your finished size, your material, the gauge, what you should do for your gauge. It tells you that. And then it'll tell you, it'll start into the pattern and it'll say chain this. I will tell you this one is a baby blanket, but that's just what this pattern is. It's not what I'm working on, it's just what this pattern is I pulled out. And it'll tell you sport weight, which is a 3 weight or a 2 weight, and it'll tell you, these are old patterns, so you kind of have to go and fluctuate in between. But like this one is also telling you the whip stitch, the reverse half double. I showed you that earlier. But it shows you in a lot of these what they should look like in a lot of these old pattern books. I haven't bought patterns in forever, so I am not sure exactly what pattern books look like nowadays. I just know what the older ones look like because I haven't gotten patterns in a long time, so because I make up my own. But with that being said, I wanted to show you kind of how you can read a pattern on a graph. Now I will show you this one. I was kind of working on this pattern. It's not something that I'm doing right now. This was just a granny square that I was going to show you. I didn't like the way I wrote this out. It was starting wrong for me, but I will tell you that how to do this is chain 4, this is slip stitch, or this is slip stitch. It can be either one. In the first chain to form a ring. And then that's the first chain that was formed. Or, you know, you go back. Round 1, it was chain 4 counts as the first double crochet in the chain 1, and a chain 1, then 3 double crochets into the ring, chain 1, repeat from the star. So then you'd come back here twice. So you come back here and do 3 double crochets to form a ring, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, then your twice is done. And sometimes I would tick over here, okay, I did this once, I did this twice. When it tells you to repeat multiple times, you can just get a pencil and mark on your pattern. And then you do 2 double crochets into the ring, and then you join with a slip stitch to the 3rd loop of the chain 4. I quit working on this one because I like to start it with the chain 3, counts as a stitch, and then I go from there, and then I join with a half double crochet if I need to join back into that space. So I stopped because I was like, this is not what I want to do. I was trying to copy off of a graph, a free graph that I was looking at, and I was like, no, I don't do it like this. So I quit. But that's how you read a pattern, and I wanted to show you that I did write a pattern out. This is how you read a pattern, you know, how they're going to be worded. This is why you need to know what this is. You need to know what these are, and it shows you that in the pattern. You need to know what round you're in. You need to know what this is. Repeat from the star, which that's why that is there. And then, you know, you need to know what a DC, a CH, whatever you're doing, if it says popcorn or if it says whatever the pattern says. But this is kind of how a pattern is going to be written for you. This is how my patterns will be written out when I start writing more patterns, and you'll have the pattern and my video to follow. So they'll also do like we talked about, they'll have like your hook size, the yarn that you need, the gauge that you need to get, any notions. And notions is, you know, your tape measure, your hook, your needles, your scissors, your stitch markers, that kind of thing. And it should have the difficulty level, which we talked about this in the previous video, but I wanted to just kind of go back over that with you. And the size that you're going to make, if you're making blocks, what size it's going to be, or if you're making a blanket, what size does this blanket, you know, what size are you shooting for on this blanket? How many yarn colors do you need? That kind of thing. What size of yarn? And remember, a pattern is only a guide or a recipe. Recipes are made to follow, yes, but you can make them your own. Everybody makes, when you're cooking, you make your recipe your own. Because you may not like rosemary, but you like thyme, or you may not like tomatoes, but you like something else in its place. So I have a gnat in here. That's crazy. Anyway, so if you don't like the way this is, like I don't like the way I wrote this out, because I was just going to copy, and then let me show you that one that we were doing earlier. This one. So how I would write this pattern is I would say chain 4, slip stitch to the first chain, which is what I did. Then I would say chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and I would put a star right here in my pattern, and I would say chain 2, 3 double crochets, repeat that 1, 2 more times. Then I would say chain 2, slip stitch to the 3rd chain, or I would say half double crochet, which would put us over here, and I wouldn't have to, I would half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then I would be right here, and I would say chain 3 and I would repeat it across and do my, and I would say chain 3 or CH3, 2DC, CH1, 3DC, chain 2 or CH2, 3DC in the corner space. And so you would know that that was your corner space. And then I would say, and I would repeat, I'd have my asterisk right here. And I would repeat from here 3 times to get us back over here. That's how I would write this pattern out. If I needed to have it written out because I couldn't look at it, that's how I'd write this pattern out. I have written patterns from graphs, and I have tried to draw graphs from patterns because the patterns were too wordy for me and I didn't understand. Or if this pattern, like I did here, if this pattern is too wordy, I would just cross this out. It's still there where I can read it. I would just put a line through it so I'd know I could ignore that. And then I would come over here and I'd either highlight or underline 3 double crochets, chain 1, and repeat twice, and I'd underline twice, and then 2 double crochets into the ring and join with a slip stitch in the 3rd loop of the chain 4. I would underline, highlight what I needed to know, and if I didn't get this and I needed to know that it was twice, you can also do 3DC. This is what I used to have to do whenever I was first starting. 3DC into the chain, into the ring, and then chain 1. Repeat from star 2 more times. So I would go 3DC, chain 1, 3DC, chain 1, and then join with a slip stitch or 2 double crochets. So then I would write 2 double crochet and then join with slip stitch in the 3rd loop from the, in the 3rd loop, and I would just go 3rd loop. That's how I would write this whole entire pattern out so that my brain could understand it. Because I know that I'm going to be working into the ring. I know that that ring is formed for me to work into, so I don't need to know that it's into the ring. That's too wordy for me. So this is how I would do it. If it's too wordy, or if I, and then whenever I did my 3 double crochets, chain 1, I would check it off. 3 double crochets, chain 1, I would check it off. 3 double crochets, chain 1, I would check it off. 2 double crochets, check it off, join with a slip stitch, check it off. Then I knew that I was done with this round, and I would go to my next round on my pattern, and I would write it out just like this. Sometimes this is better than a whole bunch of words like this whenever your brain's already cluttered with trying to get your stitches done. That's why YouTube is so nice, because you can see what the person is doing and how the person is doing this. And this right here is actually this right here. See, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, or this is chain 2 actually, but let's say we did a chain 1 here. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then we slip stitch. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 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 join. That's what this is right here. And that's how I would write that out, so that I could follow. When I first started this, I couldn't follow a pattern very well. So that's what I had to do. And you do what you have to do. If you need to do it like this and check that off, because you get up, you sit down, you don't know where you're at, and then you're lost and you're like, oh my gosh, and you feel like you want to give up and you're frustrated. Check these off. Try not to get up in the middle of a row, but if you do have to get up in the middle of a round or a row, you know where you're at. If you're doing like a chevron pattern, and you need to repeat, like I've got a pattern I'm trying to get out, and you got a chevron pattern that it goes like this. And you know that you have 10 repeats of your chevron, and you're in the middle of the row and you have to get up. I always have a notebook beside me, and I say that I'm in the middle of the chevron, and I need to make 3 more chevrons. So I would say, I would write out my chevron like this, and I would put a mark where I'm at and say I needed to do 3 more chevrons. If I had to get up and I have to do 3 more, 1, 2, 3, then I would put, I'm right here, I need to do 3 more repeats, so that I would kind of know where I'm at. I don't have to do that now, but whenever I first started, that's what I would do. And whenever you are doing this kind of thing and you need to know, oh, hey, because this row, when you go in a circle, you're always increasing. You always want to look and say, okay, this row I have 1, this row the next row up I should have 2, the next row up I should have 3, the next row I should have 4, and make sure that you have these repeats on every side. That's another thing also that you can do, but that's how you read it. This is how, whenever you're a beginner, this is an easy way. It was for my brain anyway, to understand when the patterns were really, really wordy, how I could do these. And a lot of these patterns are extremely wordy. And then there's some of them that are extremely, extremely short, like maybe 5 lines, and that's the pattern. But then you have some of these patterns that are really, really, really wordy, and my brain just can't wrap around it. My brain can't handle in the stitch below, in the this and the that, you know, put it into the third chain when I already know that that's, you know, where I'm gonna go. If it's 2 rows below, then yes, tell me that. But if it's not, and I've said that before, but there's some pattern makers that are very wordy, and that's why I like graphs, because I can see what it needs to be. I can do the pattern in my head. But there's a lot of people that don't like graphs, and if you don't like graphs and you need the words, but this is too wordy, write it out like this. And know that this is round 1, not round 2. This is round 1, and know that this is round 1. Write it long form out, and then just check off whenever you get it done, if that helps. I hope that helps somebody. And with that being said, I'm going to finish this video for today, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great day.